Expanding the memory on a Korg Triton rack. The Korg Triton rack can be expanded with DRAM SIMM memory modules. When you purchase the DRAM SIMM memory modules, you should look for the following criteria, as they're important in order for them to work on your Korg Triton. They must be 72 pin 16 megabytes or 32 megabytes. They must have an access time of 60 nanoseconds or less. The address input must be 11-bit, A0 to A10. The power supply voltage must be 5 volts. RAM as well as the components inside are extremely sensitive to static electricity. It can easily damage these components. That's why I'm working with an anti-static wristband and on an anti-static mat. If you don't have those, work next to a grounded object such as the kitchen sink, which is metal. You can touch that to discharge yourself. Make sure you don't wear any synthetic or other fabric cuffs, ties or other clothes that drape inside on your electronics. You really want to have your sleeves back or wear short sleeves and have nothing drape inside. When you buy RAM, it will come to you in an anti-static bag like these ones. Before you even get out, you should ground yourself to not damage it. And once you get it out of the bag, you need to make sure you don't place it onto synthetic material or other static electricity generating surfaces. Paper is acceptable. Raw, unvarnished wood works. It's always a good idea, if you don't have an anti-static mat, that you just place it on top of your anti-static bag. Before you open it up, unplug the power on the back of the unit. Now we'll open the lid. There are 2 thumb screws here that you will have to remove. And there's 2 thumb screws here that you will need to loosen. Then you lift the lid and you pull it off. Inside you can see this is the RAM slot. What you see here is the slots for the expansion boards, and here are 3 slots for the RAM. Now these 2 would physically fit into each other's slots, but you must be careful not to do that. Only put RAM in there and only put expansion cards in there. If it's still set up the way it came out of the factory, it'll have a 16 megabyte RAM stick in this slot. There's 2 empty sticks for you to expand to. You can expand with 32 megabytes if you want to on each slot. So you can have 32 here, and if you want 32 on this one, you would have to remove the factory one and put in a 32 one. The factory one is 16. Then facing the unit from the front, the expansion cards will be here, the RAM here, and the components on the RAM will be facing away from you that way. There's a notch on this side, which will be on your right side when you're facing from the front. And you will put this in slanted on an angle, not vertical like that, but slanted. And you push it in. And once it's pushed in, you pull this catch with your thumbs just out to the side to make it easy for the RAM to slide in, and that's it. So I'm going to put in the second RAM stick and I'm going to give you a different angle. Now you see a bit more of a close-up on the catch on the corner here. So I get the notch here facing that way, and you will be able to see a little bit better how I'm putting it in slanted. Push it in and see that little catch here which you have to pull with your thumb. It'll obscure it a little bit when I pull it with my thumb, but you will pull it outwards and then you push it in like that. Just gonna show you from the other side where it'll be less obscured. There you can see how I'm pulling the catch to the side as I pull it in. That is it, maxed out on RAM. Put the lid back on. Plug the power in. Power on the unit. If you've installed it correctly, it'll show on your splash screen.